Sing that song anymore out there,
Can you play Ye Anilo? Amolo? You don't know?
Let's get a song. Here's a song. He's a musician. Here is Matt. Go for it.
Hare Krishna. So we'll sing. So we'll sing Ye Nilo now. जय श्री गुरुदेव की ये अनिलो प्रेम करुणा
Yes.
She doesn't even This is my.
She's so pretty. I just want to see it. Can I see it?
Thank you for attending this sober occasion. We're going to begin the offerings now. We're going to begin the offerings now, starting with His Grace Krishna Prabhu. After him will be Sarvabhauma Prabhu.
Sorry.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming, and thank everyone who hasn't gotten here yet. I'm sure they'll show up gradually. Pizza's on the menu. That always brings a crowd, no matter what, no matter what. I can only say that I was fortunate enough to have 25 years of Tamal Krishna Goswami's association. Not as much as some, but more than most. And that in that entire time, I can honestly say I tried my best to engage in that which he wanted me to do. There were many interesting changes and switch-ups and services, from saving temples to building new communities to this, that, and the other, and just chanting Hare Krishna nicely, and serving the deity nicely, simple things like that. And if anything that I learned, I can simply say that the spiritual master is always correct for the disciple. And if you approach the spiritual master in that way, you'll get his blessings, you'll get his mercy. You'll get what you need for your spiritual development, both personally and collectively as a community or what have you. It worked for me. That's saying something. I'm a white cracker from Mobile, Alabama and all, but yeah, we aren't the highest of the highest personalities out on this planet, I can assure you. But with the spiritual master's mercy, even the lowest of the low can be saved. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, the Panchatattva, they all prove this again and again and again. And as soon as we start thinking, I am this and I am that, you just miss the boat, or maybe you'll have to swim to shore, I don't know, but it doesn't work. We're simply the servants of the servants of the servants. And Srila Prabhupada said, as soon as you give that up, everything is finished. So, happy thoughts for the beginning. Everybody can follow suit. Sarvabhauma Prabhu, the mic is yours.
You want to get this, Prabhu?
Sarvabhauma will be Kuher.
Wow, the divine treasure.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Swamitane Shrimati Tamal Krishna Goswami Name Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Swamitane Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauranga Pacharni Nirvishesha Srinivani Paschata Deshatarani. I usually know what I'll say at these events. For some reason I didn't. I thought of many things to say, but I didn't decide on certain line of action. The first time I saw Tamal Krishna was in Los Angeles, and I had read about him getting back to Godhead. This was about 1978, and in the Bhakti Godhead magazine, it had an interview with Tamal Krishna, who had been Srila Prabhupada's personal secretary. And he was glorifying Prabhupada, how wonderful Prabhupada was, how great things Prabhupada had done. And the mood from the article just was that he loved Prabhupada and he wanted to share Prabhupada with others. And I had learned something about Krishna consciousness from Prabhupada's books, but I was sorry that I never met Prabhupada. I was going to college at UC Berkeley from 1968 to 71, and there were some Rath Yatras where Prabhupada came, but I was not ready for meeting Prabhupada at that time. I started a type of meditation, transcendental meditation, and I learned about the Bhagavad Gita. I became a vegetarian. But when I saw the Hare Krishnas chanting, they looked a little different, so I wouldn't always approach them. But as time went on, I once heard the Maharishi Ganesh Yogi say that the Srimad Bhagavatam is the highest scripture. This was in Switzerland, but he didn't teach from it. But at a retreat for teachers of meditation, there was 2 cloth-bound books. They were from the Gita Press in Gorakhpur, India. And they were the English Bhagavatam and the Sanskrit, no commentary, by Hanuman Prasad Podar, who had given a donation to Prabhupada for printing Prabhupada's books in the early days. Anyway, I'd been a wrestler in college, so I saw these books and I asked my roommate, what are these books? And this is the Bhagavad Purana, and we can read this in our spare time between meditations. I just thought I'd open it up to wherever it opens up. So I just flipped it open, and I'd been a wrestler in college and high school. So what I read was that Chandraman and Muskika, the wrestlers, were talking to Krishna, and then Krishna just, before I started reading, Krishna said, "You're bigger and stronger than I am, so I don't think it's fair." And they said, "We know you like to wrestle with the coward boys, and we think you killed the elephant Kuvalya Pita today, so we think it's fair." So I was really struck that Krishna likes wrestling. So it took me some time to become a devotee, but I was sorry I didn't meet Prabhupada. I thought that it would be wonderful to meet the Prabhupada's servant who loved Prabhupada and served him so nicely. So I saw him. I wasn't ready he was going right away, but he was I heard that Tamal Krishna's headquarters was in Dallas. So I went to Dallas at one point, and he had to go to China. And I was going to try Krishna consciousness for 1 month. So I had been in the meditation room for some time, and I was attracted to Krishna consciousness, but he in LA said, "You try this Krishna consciousness for 1 month. We won't charge you any money. You like the prasadam, you like the devotees, so try it out." So I came to Dallas to try it out, and I was all ready to get Tamal Krishna's association, but they said he's going to China in about a week. So I got it. And then he was a very powerful leader of Krishna consciousness, very dynamic. But he seemed a little bit worried about how things would go on in Dallas. So when I came to Dallas, I thought, I can't do anything for this man. He's very dynamic. But it seemed like he was worried about how things would go on in Dallas. So I decided I was staying with him a month. And the last day that he stayed there, I had not shaved my head yet, but I thought I'll shave my head to please him. So he was very happy when he saw my head shaved. And that was my first devotional act. And then he was in China for some time, he came back to Dallas. And I did mostly different types of sankirtan, but at one point he needed a servant in England. And my wife, Guru Bhakti, thought it would be good for me to get the experience of personal service to him, so several devotees recommended that I go. So I went, and it was a wonderful experience. It wasn't always easy, but I learned so much from the way that he dealt with scholars and devotees. He was so regulated. So, different senior devotees would visit him, like Swami, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, Ishavani Maharaj, Dadadara Maharaj, so many senior devotees. And we had some meetings with the Hindus leading Indian families in the UK. So he would deal with everyone so nice, from the janitor at the school he was at to the principal of the college. Anyway, it was a wonderful experience serving him, and by his very amazing devotion, he developed certain communities very nicely. So Dallas and Houston were part of his responsibility. And in Houston, he encouraged the Indian devotees to become leaders and become initiated and to take responsibility for the temple. So some wonderful devotees that we have still with us, like Shama Sundar, Kavara, Harinila. So many senior men started developing this community. They moved here. So Morganath was the pillar of Houston, Morganath. So all these men, they helped develop the community. And so I got to be in Houston. I joined in Dallas when I came to Houston. It's been a wonderful honor to be in such a community of devotees. It's wonderful to see some new devotees get involved here in Houston. And And my kind mother, who was very dedicated to book distribution and preaching, and so many other wonderful devotees. So I think he would be happy that what's happening in Houston, he would be pushing us harder and more do greater things, but I think he would be pleased with some of the developments here. And I'm not taking credit for anything, I'm just happy to be part of such a community of devotees. And I'll end there. So much to Moksha.
Thank you, sir.
नमो विष्णु पादाय कृष्ण प्रस्थान पुतले श्रीमती तमाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी तिनंदे नमो विष्णु पादाय कृष्ण प्रस्थान पुतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी तिनंदे Srila Gurudev Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he came in contact with Srila Prabhupada in 1968 in San Francisco, and very soon they become very favorite devotees, and he was very sincere in his service. So Prabhupada liked him very much. I written some of his qualities over here. Srila Tamal Krishna Maharaj he was a very expert manager. He was his thinking was very clear. He knows what to do, and he was able to guide other people what he actually wanted. And after finishing his PhD at London, he had a vision to start university, Krishna Conscious University, and he wanted people to take courses. And he actually Nityananda Prabhu in Dallas, he is already working on this one, and he has involved many professors in India, so they can be involved in this one, and the university will be recognized as a regular university. This is an online university, not a people come and take courses over there. All over the world, people can be anywhere, and they can take courses online, and that will be recognized by other universities. So that is one of his great vision. Like Prabhupada has a vision, Vinod Thakur has a vision of making the temple of planetarium in Mayapur. So Srila Gurudev has a lot of other visions. After his last visit in Mayapur, we started Kirtan Mela. Actually, the Kirtan Mela started right before he left Mayapur, and now we can see every year we have a Kirtan Mela in Mayapur and a lot of other places in the different part of the world. So Kirtan Mela is a beginning point after his departure. Srila Prabhupada had a lot of trust in Goswami Maharaj. Many times Srila Prabhupada asked him about his opinion on important matters. He was known as Prabhupada man. Prabhupada has so much trust on him. So a lot of people was considering him as a Prabhupada intimate man. Or he was very close to Prabhupada. And before Prabhupada asked him something, he had a vision. He knew exactly what Prabhupada wanted. On March 15, 2002, Srila Goswami Maharaj was in a car and he had an accident when he was going from Mayapur to Calcutta in the airport. And he left his body near the place called Pulyagram, the place where Haridas Thakur was chanting his 300,000 round every single day. So there's a very auspicious place. And on the same day, there was a disappearance day of Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj and Rishikaనంద Prabhu also. So the two important spiritual masters in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left the body on that day. So it was 5 o'clock in the morning when he left the body. Srila Tamal Maharaj has published many articles in BTG magazine, and also he has published some of the books like Sharon of the Servant. He published that book very early in 1982. And I remember when the books came out, the particular book came out, I was not an initiated devotee. I didn't have an idea about the ISKCON that time much. And then when the book came out and he was signing the book, I didn't buy the book because I don't want to be servant. Like we were just coming to the temple for taking prasadam. And no idea about Krishna consciousness, no about philosophy or anything. So I don't want to be servant, I don't want to buy the book, and I didn't buy book that time. And then another book he has written was a drama of the Lord Jagannath. It's called Jagannath Priya Natikam. Then another book was a final pastime of Srila Prabhupada, very intimate pastime of Srila Prabhupada when he was about to leave his body. He was so close to Srila Prabhupada that time. He has written very nice points in that book. And there is another book called Yoga for the 21st Century. And that's also a very nice book. It's like a story book. He has involved some Chinese devotee, talking about some Chinese devotee. Very interesting book, and a lot of distribution of that particular book. And there is another book called Reason and Belief. Then there is a TKG diary. It's a very interesting book. A lot of his personal experience with Srila Prabhupada. And then also he's written, he was going to school in SM University in Dallas. So there is a book published on the basis of the articles on the thesis or what other thing he has written. That's called Hare Krishna at the SM University. That's a nice book also.
Reason and belief.
He was also known as the hot Tamal. Particularly, those who were close to him, sometimes he was chastising like anything and he was making them cry. But he loved them and he wanted them to be strict and sincere like him. So he was very careful. He was taking care in his own way. So, he was training basically all his disciples, not only his disciples, those who were close to him. And some of them, even his god brothers, are afraid to go closer to him. I mean, he was very strict and he wanted others to be sincere like him. So these are some of the few qualities that just written. And Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj Sela Gurudev ki jai.
We're also honored here to have, which is increasingly rare, one of our Guru's spiritual masters, our spiritual masters, God brothers, and just like our Guru, he's also an esteemed scholar. We welcome His Holiness Hanuman Prakash
Jai!
Maharaj will be Srinivas Acharya.
Inside your top.
Jai, Tamal Krishna Maharaj ki jai.
Jai! Jai!
So many things we can talk about. Today is Tirubhava festival, so it's one aspect. And all the different aspects of associating with the Vaishnava, like disappearance, sannyas, so many things are all very, very potent. It's like within 5 minutes time span, you have to breathe a certain number of times. Yeah. So within 1 year, you need to get Maharaj's association. You remember different things, it keeps you alive like that. One of the biggest Tirubhava festivals is when Krishna, right, left Vrindavan. Oh, that's a big one. See, it's very nice. What's it, Krishna or Kongs? That movie, Krishna or Kongs. Very nice cartoon movie, very well done on the YouTube. The one very nice section is of Krishna leaving in the cartoon. So beautifully done. And so, Krishna, when he left, he told everybody, oh, I'm coming right back, and all these things like that. And Prabhupada said that Krishna was not a liar, didn't break his promises. So when Krishna and Balaram got to Kurugat, they took their bath there, and then at that point, a portion of Krishna left Vrindavan, this Vasudeva portion, and a portion of Balaram left Vrindavan, this Sankarshan portion. And after that, they're different. You know, Krishna doesn't play the flute in Dwarka. He doesn't have four arms in Dwarka. Usually he has 2 arms. So understanding all of us have different relationships with Maharaj. Every single person here have a different relationship. And then trying to understand, you know, laterally also, so we can go on and expanding this movement. So when Krishna left like that in Vrindavan, it wasn't that he was taking anything away from the Brijvasis. You know, he was, you know, what's the word, like, you know, that things were diminished. Actually, things were increased. So it's a matter of understanding, right? And when Maharaj left like that, I know some of our godbrothers and stuff, they said that it was, everybody was forced to have a different relationship with Prabhupada, with him, and you know, something else was available now. So when Krishna left, and his expansions left, Vasudeva and Sankarshan, then his Leela, Shmarana, Swarup, you know, he left that, manifest that in Vrindavan. Leela, Shmarana, Swarup. They're pastimes of Krishna. And then there's contemplation of them, Smarana, meditation, and that's a form. It's a form, and it's not a dead form or anything else. It's quite a living form, an active form. And so, see, we have contacts with the deities. We have contacts with different devotees. We have so many contacts, experiences. When people go to India for the first time, they're sometimes asking me if I should do this and that. And I tell them, keep a diary, no? And write down everything. And it doesn't matter how ordinary or mundane or anything else it is. 3 years later, 4 years later, maybe you haven't been back to India again, you read those and it's just, you know, we think so many things with it and so on. And so that was what he wanted to give, because Krishna's manifest form, sometimes the gopis could associate with him in the evenings, the night times, but they couldn't associate intimately during the daytime. But the Leela Shmarana Swarup form is more personal, more intimate. So yeah, I received some instructions from Maharaj and different things like that, and so and nothing really super secret. I will go to my grave with what Maharaj told me about Radha Krishna. No. But yeah, there were specific instructions and about how to relate to the yatra, or how to relate to his particular relationship with Prabhupada. And I find it very, I feel very satisfied. Okay, so I have my position, right, in the whole situation here. And all of us go on like that. And so this whole movement's expanding, right? It's not that the demons probably when demons got news that A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami had left his body, the demons were probably thinking, oh, okay. Hansavita told us that he got Prabhupada to come to Germany, and then it was a whole intense tour, and then he asked him to come again, and Prabhupada said, I cannot go there again. There are people there who would kill me. Yeah. He also said that Prabhupada said the Germans are the most materially intelligent people on the face of the earth. Of course, how do you say Germany in German? Deutschland. And there are people who say this comes from Deutschland. Deutschland.
That's right.
So they were smart enough to figure out that this guy is dangerous. This guy is not just some yogi guy, this and that. This guy's dangerous. So when Prabhupada left his body, they were all thinking, oh, okay, how nice. But then they started discovering that Prabhupada was, distributing more books and making more disciples and, carrying on more after he left his body. the son of a little Acharya. So the same way, when Acharyas, Tamal Krishna Maharaj and so on, yeah, things are going on. And they wanted it also told us that they told Prabhupada, this movement, sometimes we think we're in control with the GBC, with all these things, you know. And sometimes we think it's just a wave, you know, like that. And then Prabhupada said, yes, it is a wave, just try and hang on. So yeah, try and find your position, you know, get connected, and then, you know, let Krishna do all the magic. Because it seems very much we're going into a whole new phase now of being in society and everything else. And, you know, be ready for miracles, everybody. Tamal Krishna Maharaj.
I was thinking of Maharaj, and then I thought, what am I more inspired from Maharaj's life? He's such a multifaceted personality with so many great qualities. And a couple of things came to my mind. One is his dedication to his spiritual master, to Srila Prabhupada. So much dedication that he was ready to do anything for Srila Prabhupada. And so much so that Prabhupada would personally test him. The story of his taking sannyas. And when Prabhupada gave him, he said, I was testing you, how determined you are. And for a few days, Maharaj didn't talk to Srila Prabhupada. He was mad that Prabhupada is not giving him sannyas. So they had a very intimate relationship. And the second one is his faith and devotion to Krishna specifically. And when we see about his lectures dealing with people who are worshipping demigods or who are thinking these other gurus are Krishna themselves, and Maharaj was just cut through them. I was watching one lecture, probably it was in Fiji, where one person, he was, for that region, he was the secretary of an organization where they believed that Guru was actually Krishna. and that person was asking questions, and after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and the person was accepting everything Maharaj said, and one person in the audience said he should resign from the position of the regional secretary of that Guru's organization. So much faith. He was telling him, why do you need to think this other person is Krishna, and then you have to tell me that he is also teaching from Bhagavad Gita. If he's really Krishna, he should have his own book and teach from it. Why Krishna's teaching? So he was, showing everybody that why should we be so dumb to worship anyone other than Krishna? So in his presence, it becomes illuminated, it becomes clear that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And also his command and the conclusions of the scripture is very profound. I realized whenever I hear him sometimes in the puja room, devotees playing the lecture or somebody forwards me, it's very hard not to be attentive. Because it's very forceful, clear, and from the scripture, and he very easily cites the translation of the words perfectly, and sometimes many Sanskrit verses as well. So I was thinking, how is that? Is he a great scholar or a great manager? What is Maharaj? Then suddenly I realized actually there's a verse in Shvetashvatra Upanishad, Yasya deve parabhaktir yatha deve tata gurau tasyete katita hyartha prakashante mahatmana. One who has implicit faith in spiritual master and Krishna, all the imports of the Vedas are revealed. So I felt that's his position. An Uttam Adhikari, a great devotee, his faith is strong, his knowledge is strong. But I realized Maharaj's knowledge is coming through his dedication to Guru and Krishna. So that was my realization. So I sincerely prayed to Maharaj, so he may give me that sincerity. I feel intimidated when I hear him. I feel like he's seeing what fault is there in me. His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki.
Maharaj had many different secretaries who would serve him and travel with him. But like myself, only last maybe a few months. But there's one person who has lasted for many years. And we're fortunate to have him now, and he's carrying on this succession. His Grace, Radha Krishna Prabhu.
Maharaj said I'm a survivor. Yes, it wasn't an easy ride actually.
Right.
And nobody said it was easy, yeah. So I guess from some point of view you may think, yeah, he's so fortunate and so on. But when we ask people to exchange, you know, then they would think differently also. I used to travel, right? When we used to go to different temples, then, like for example, when we go to Dallas temple, then the devotees would all disappear actually, because they would be very. They find it difficult to serve Srila Gurudev, and so one time my spiritual master told me to do a few things. Normally we get up before he does, so 3 o'clock, and then we go to bed after he goes to bed, so it would be around 10. And so he had given me like 6 or 7 things to do. So whilst I was doing one of the items, he would call me and say, "Have you done the other things?" I said, "You know, Gurudev, I'm just trying to do this first thing." He said, "What's wrong with you? Why can't you do it?" So it was always, he wanted me to be able to coordinate with other devotees and get them to also be involved in it. So I would do that, and I would approach different devotees, and they'd say, "No, not for Gurudev. No, I can't do it. You know, I'm not crazy." So many times it was like that, and once I even told my spiritual master, yeah, I asked them, and they wouldn't want to do it. He said, "Get lost from here. Everybody loves to serve me." I said, "Yes, but you know, but they didn't do it." They said, "You're not asking properly." So on another time, I had to, you know, even iron his clothing. You know? So I was ironing his clothing, and I was doing a few things. Then again he asked, you know, "Why didn't you ask another person to do?" I said, "If I ask that person, and then they may not have brought it on time, and then you get on my case." And he looked at me and said, "Yeah, you're right." So it is, as Kuvera said, he's like a hot tamale. You know. His godbrothers would call him tamale and so on. Of course we wouldn't. And his anger wasn't because everyone would say he's angry person, but it's not like that. Until you are immersed in the relationship with him, then you after some time you realize what he was trying to do. He was trying to break your false ego, split you apart, and then he'll place you back atom by atom, so that you become the perfect disciple, you know, in the disciplic succession. Because he was like that. When he first heard Prabhupada, he believed completely what Prabhupada wanted, and I mentioned this morning also that it wasn't that nobody heard that. Everyone heard, he said, and it wasn't that they didn't know what to do. It's just that he felt strongly he wanted to serve Srila Prabhupada, and that was his whole thing. So much so that he imbibed everything Prabhupada told him, and he would follow exactly what Prabhupada would do there. And in doing so, he was teaching his disciples and so on. Just like
when I'm eating some items, I would be thinking of how my own spiritual master would eat. When he would take the curry sauce, I'll be thinking this is how he would eat. When he eats a gulab jamun, I'll be thinking this is how he would chew it. When I first was traveling with him, this was in Fiji in 1990, I believe, 1990, 89. Yeah. So then he introduced me to the GBC, Vasudev and everyone. And then he told me, you sit next to me. So they served and I ate. And then every time he would eat something, he'd say, try this, and he would give me his plate, And then I'm like, it's your plate. No, then you try. I want you to try. And then, so wherever we went, he was doing this to me. And little did I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to, like they say, you butter the bread nicely and jam it up, and then it'll be just nice to bite into it. So then he dropped the bomb. I need someone to help me out. And then he said, you'll be the right person. And I said, yeah, I could do that. And he said, no. Your mom, your parents, they have 4 sons. They don't need more than that. You can come and join. I was thinking, yeah. He said, it'll be easy. You've got nothing to do. You just travel with me. I didn't know much about ISKCON and how they operated at that time. So I was like, okay, yeah, I will do that, yeah. So the very first time I was doing something, he showed his hot side, and I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? I've never experienced that before. So anyway, he was always wanting to actually help his disciple. His idea was, this is also in psychology. If the parents are too nice to the child, the child actually doesn't understand what is right and wrong. But if the parents suddenly say, hey, stop this, and then the child would know, okay, there's something I shouldn't be doing. So he was like that to us. Especially when you're older, it's so much more harder to actually train you, your fixed consciousness, intentions, and so on. So he was there, breaking down all those barriers, slowly but surely, and eventually you'll follow, and then he can help us go back to Godhead. He's also very humorous person, very witty, and mostly you hear about him being an angry person or something like that. But he's actually very funny. Among his god brothers, he'll be joking and so on. But with the disciples and others, he'd show his the other side, his training side. You can say staff sergeant side. Yeah, that's how staff sergeants are. They're very harsh, but they're actually very sweet also. And is there a time limit? No.
It's Friday night.
So, trying to recollect. He in his will he also wrote down exactly what to be done. Most people, we don't think ahead. Even many of us, you may not even have your will, so make sure you do your will now. And he explicitly stated what to do, how to do, where his body should be buried. If it was in Vrindavan, this is the place. If it was in Mayapur, this is the place. And so on and so forth. And there was one thing he always carried with himself. There was the golden tool of Srila Prabhupada. So he wear that, and then I heard that Indradumna Swami wanted to get it. And so when Maharaj said that, he laughed at him and said, no way, I'm going to take it with me all the way back home, back to God. And so in his will, he states that it's called Danta, that should be with him when he's buried in the Samadhi. So when you go to Mayapur, where his Samadhi is, when you circumambulate him, you also circumambulating Srila Prabhupada.
Danta Samadhi.
Yeah, that's a very interesting thing, yeah.
I had one interesting pastime. In the last time I traveled with him was to Fiji. That was in 2000. So it was December 24th, and we were in Mombasa. Vishwanath, his father, and so on were there in charge, and so that was the initiation. So they had an initiation in a hall, and right across the hall near there was a house, and behind the house the owner had tied a goat, to a tree. And so he sat down for the initiation, and he was speaking about Madan Mohan, and he was talking about Sambandha, relationship between the Jiva and Krishna, and how it's so important for the initiates to understand what they are doing, why they're taking initiation, to eventually come to understand their position with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So as he was speaking, the goat started bleating. Bah, bah. It became so loud, and then he stopped. He looked at everyone. He said, okay, someone go and feed the goat. So a few devotees went out and they fed the goat, and then it was quiet. And so he started talking. It didn't last long. The goat started to bleed even more stronger, and so he was like, he stopped again and he said, this is no good, So he said, bring more prasadam, not just little, give him more prasadam. And then, let's see. So they went and gave him more prasadam. And he said, stay there with the goat. So the devotee went there and started feeding the goat, and he was there, more prasadam. So the goat was pretty quiet. So then he continued with the Sambandha and the offenses and so on. And before even he could reach halfway through the lecture, the goat started bleating. The poor thing is bleating because, it's December 24th, 25th is Christmas, and they're going to slaughter the goat. Right? So it's crying out. So my Guru Maharaj said, I want, this goat is going to be fed today. So he said, bring more prasadam. So while they were bringing the prasadam, he said, you never know. And in one sense, he was giving a blessing. So he said, I think this goat would have enough prasadam to take a human form of life, and he would be a pujari in this temple.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Gurudev ki.
I remember once in Hong Kong, and there was a Tulsi Puja, and Joshua was leading the Tulsi Arti, and everyone circumambulating around the Tulsi. The men circumambulated, and then it was the women's turn, and then he stopped chanting. And Gurudev got angry. He said, "Why did you stop chanting? Keep chanting. This is the most misogynistic movement. I can't stand it." So I feel bad that all the speakers were all men. So in the appearance of not being misogynistic, we introduce Mother Haladuti.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Putale Srimati Tamal Krishna Goswami Iti Namate. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Putale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namate. Namaste Saraswati Devi. Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisheshe Satanyavadi Patse Chedastarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Sri Advaita Vedanta Shiva Shari Guru Bhakta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vacha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripasatabhyacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. to speak on Disappearance Day is very difficult actually. Well, everyone talking about Srila Gurudev, how strict and how everyone got the sauce. I think everybody have heard how I got mine many times. So I like to share what Gurudev had extremely soft side of him also, especially with the kids. He really loved the devotee kids, and he always, whenever they have birthdays, and he will call them and he will ask them, what you like to have for your birthday? What kind of cake? What kind of menu? What kind of decoration? And then Gurudev will call the parents, and he will tell them, so you have to make like this for your child. You have to, always in Kalachanti Park, they will have a birthday party there. So he was very concerned. And the kids can get away with everything. When Gurudev give class, they will come and put his shoes the other way, and they will hide his shoes also. And then Gurudev will like pretend, he knows exactly where they hid them, and Gurudev says, where's my shoe, where's my shoe? And so he was like grandfather to all the kids. He will come in the evening, 4 o'clock, he will walk in Gurley Avenue, and he will go to some devotee's house, get Krishna book and keep the kids beside him, or sometime in his lap, and he will read Krishna books to them. And so he was very merciful, and after Bhagavatam class, he will give them cookies. Everyone will wait in line, and he will eat on their head. So he was very kind. And in Philippines, I was there for 3 years. Gurudev took me to Philippines, and when he was there, especially when Radha Krishna Prabhu was talking about that animal, that goat, it reminded me that that's one incident happened. In the first temple in Manila, in San Juan, it was near a slaughterhouse. That temple was near the slaughterhouse. It was a little higher, and the slaughterhouse was like 2-3 houses away actually. Sometimes you can see the blood flowing down. Many times, like the bull, the cows ran away from them and came to our temple. So Giridharis Maharaj bought those cows, and the bulls, and they became our Padayatra bulls for many years. And one time, a duck ran away from the slaughterhouse, so we kept, and our Gurukul kids, we had them as a pet. And we named the duck Hansa. So Gurudev came, within a month later, Gurudev came, and this duck, every time he will come, all the way, the temple was in the 2nd floor, all the way up to the darshan, everyday greetings time, the duck will come. During greetings, we'll take darshan of Nitai Sundar Gaura Nataraj and go down. Every time 7 o'clock, sharp greetings time it will come. When Gurudev came, Gurudev was sitting near the Tulasi garden, and he was putting his feet out, and this duck came and rest his head on Gurudev's feet. And Gurudev, before that, he will follow wherever Gurudev chanting, the duck will follow Gurudev wherever. And then Gurudev asked, one time from the window, he asked me, Padaduri, what is this duck's name? I said, Hansa. This is a duck, this is not a swan. And I said, maybe through your mercy, Gurudev, this duck will become a swan. And after Gurudev left Manila, this duck disappeared. got liberated, maybe. So we had similar experience like that. And Gurudev also very fond of Padayatra. We had Padayatra in Philippines every year. Gurudev comes for that. And the kirtan was so aesthetic. We will have, Gurudev always like competition. Even in kirtan. He will make Mataji's group, Prabhu's group. And Filipino devotees are amazing. They are kirtaniyas, amazing kirtan. Prabhu, the temple president that time was Advaita Prabhu. He can play 3 mridangas at the same time. So Giridhari Swami will be in all the Prabhu's side, and Gurudev always take the Mataji side. So he will challenge, and in our side, there's one Mataji, she can play 2 mridanga, and one putting down, and she will play. She was so expert, and Gurudev will make them fight, Advaita and Rasamanjari. And they will go so wild until each one will be jumping on each other. For me, I came from Singapore. We were so conservative in Singapore. Women cannot do this. Women cannot do this. When I came to Philippines, I was like so shocked. Wow. And then Gurudev, I look at Gurudev and Gurudev smiled. And he was like, and Gurudev made sure that Mataji's dance more wilder than the Prabhus. He will always encourage, go, go, go. So he was very, very merciful. Another experience I had when we went one of the time, he came to Bacolod, one of the island in Philippines. There's no temple there. So we have to stay outside, just in an open area. And we will just knock at the mayor house for shower and everything. And the priest, the main priest in that church, he gave a place for Srila Gurudev. So I could go there to do his laundry. And when I was doing his laundry, the Pope, the priest, the person in charge of the church, he came, he said, let me do your Guru's laundry. So he did wash and iron the whole clothes. He insists that he wants to do service for Srila Gurudev. He said this person is not an ordinary person. I want to serve him. Give me that opportunity. So we have experience wherever Gurudev came, and he changed everyone. He didn't discriminate. He was very merciful. Gurudev found out when I was in Philippines, he found out that I learned Bharatanatyam for 10 years. And I stopped dancing. And he asked me, why you stopped dancing? And I said, because the temple president in Singapore said, it's not proper for ladies, Matajis, to dance on the stage. He used a very strong word. And so Gurudev said, this is nonsense. This dance is from spiritual world. You should continue dancing for Krishna. So next Padayatra, be prepared. So he took me asked me to perform, and we did not have anything but like outfit, anything we did not have. So I have to go get a sari and get someone to stitch and get some music. So when my turn came to perform, I was very nervous. This is my first time in front of Gurudev. I'm going to perform. It was a stage, very high stage, and everyone was sitting. So when my turn to perform, Gurudev pulled the chair all the way close to the stage. And then he looked at Giridhari Maharaj and asked him to pull the chair. He did not even sit, he stand on the chair. He stood on the chair and he told Giridhari Maharaj to stand on the chair too. So I'm standing and they are right in front of me standing. And I was so nervous, I don't know how I performed, and I was so afraid. And next day he called me and I was so scared. And he said, you did really well. Don't ever stop dancing for Krishna. So I want to let all the kids, all the girls who know dancing, keep on dancing for Krishna until your body allows. Keep on dancing for Krishna. At the end, I want to finish with this one pastime I had. After Gurudev's departure, it was very, very difficult. Even now it is, after this many years, it is very, very difficult. I went to Vrindavan after Gurudev's departure. I stayed, especially after Malakirtida's departure, immediately, few months later, Gurudev departed too. So I had really, really difficult time to accept that. So I left to Vrindavan, and I was staying in Malakirtida's apartment in MVT. And first I went for Japa retreat by Gurujan Prabhu. I only stayed there for 2 days. I was not able to, because first time when I went to Vrindavan, Gurudev took me to all these places where every place in Vrindavan, Gurudev took us in parikrama. When we went with Gurudev, it was like anytime Krishna going to jump out from the bush, from behind this tree, Krishna's coming. So when I went back there, it reminded me so much so the spot where Gurudev took us. So I was not able to keep myself. And I came back and I was in very, very distress and I was crying a lot. And I had a dream. Gurudev came in my dream. He was in Mayapur. In the dream, he was in Mayapur. And I'm screaming, and literally I'm screaming in my dream. I say, Gurudev, I want to see you, I want to see you. And he came, I was sitting at his samadhi and I'm crying, and he came and like a sand, what do you call that? The sand appeared, and he came and he said, come with me, and I want to show you something. And I followed him, he took me to Ganga, and in Ganga there was a boat, and in that boat, there's devotees, one or two devotees were sitting there. And before going into Ganga, Gurudev's feet is not even touching at Ganga. He was like floating, and he went inside and he took me to this island. And in this island, there was while we were going closer to this island was full of so many coconut trees and banana trees, and there's a white palace in that, very beautiful white palace. And Gurudev took me and quietly said, come with me. And I went, and he said, he pointed to me like this, and he said, I'm going to show you something. So he opened the door, and Prabhupada was there worshipping Shri Radha and Krishna. And then he closed the door, and he paid obeisances, and he said, this is where I am right now. So this is how from now onwards you're going to see me. Be satisfied. I never leave. This is how you will see me from now onwards. Be satisfied. But in my dream, and Gurudev paid obeisances, and there was a lake there, like a pool, and he disappeared. And I'm still in my dream, I'm screaming, I want to see you the way I saw you, I want to feel you, I want to touch you. And I woke up, and I was very, very upset. It was morning, and somebody called me, knocked at my door and said, Mother Karta wanted to see you. Mother Karta is one of Prabhupada's disciples, Veera Babu Prabhu's wife, and she was staying the second floor, third floor, where above Mother Kirtida. And when I went there, she said, she had a beautiful deities, and she said, I know it is very difficult after Goswami Maharaj left. We felt the same way when Srila Prabhupada left, and we still feeling the same separation. But I had a dream, but this time I haven't told her anything about my dream, anything. And she said, I was crying so much when Srila Prabhupada left. And Prabhupada came in my dream, and he took me to this island surrounded by water, and white palace was there, surrounded by banana trees, coconut trees, and there was a pool where all devotees are swimming. And Prabhupada told me like this, she said, and I was like, right now I'm like literally shaking. I didn't tell her anything, just listening. And Prabhupada opened the door, and when the door was open, and Radha Krishna are running in that house, they're trying to catch each other. And Prabhupada closed the door and paid obeisances. And look at Mataji, and she said, Prabhupada looked at her and said, this is how you're going to see me, and this is where I am. But when your turn comes, you will join here with all other devotees in this ISKCON. So I had this 1 year after Gurudev's physical disappearance, and still that gives so much hope, even though how Gurudev is still physically present and he reciprocates. So I pray today to Srila Gurudev that please continue, please be with us, give us your blessing. More than anything, that this community at this time, all of us, we need your mercy and guidance and protection. And this is a very dear down for Srila Gurudev. His heart and soul was here to build this temple and bring Radha Nila Madhava here. And no matter what happened, as long we stay together, serve together, we can overcome any kind of difficulties we come in our life. So please, let's have each other association and kind to each other and encourage each other, especially our children, and they are the next generation, and so that they can take up all our service. We will look forward, and that will make Srila Gurudev really happy. Jai Srila Gurudev ki.
He doesn't need to stand.
That's, I think she said it all. Or, any other Mataji want to speak? You have 2 minutes.
By the time they come to the mic, will be over.
The time that they have cases. Okay, the next, I'm
Pushpanjali.
going to, is it Pushpanjali, right?
Mm-hmm. We need help moving the tables back. Some able-bodied men. We don't want to spill the prasad in the rain camp.
Keep an eye on them where they put the tables. Trust me, I've stolen all of them. You gonna see it? I do. That's gonna be embarrassed.
After this will be kirtan, and then we request the disciples of Srila Gurudev be serving the feast. Yeah.
Krishna, everybody of you can come, y'all can come and offer the flowers. And then when the arati is going on, the offering of flowers can continue. Kindly repeat.
Take some picture.
So, how about for the men, the flowers? Somebody has to hold the flower. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Varidana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Adan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Tamal Krishna Goswami Niti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachaline Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Nayitaya Kripabdhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhave Namaha Madhurya Ujjhala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dhinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Apasiddhanta Dvantaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Rashambude Padambojayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhume Swam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Sindhubhyevacha Hitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktavyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Umesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Surato Pango Mahamanda Matirgati Matsarvasva Padambojo Radha Madana Mohana Divya Vrindaranya Kalpa Kumaraha Srimad Ratnahara Simhasanasto Srimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Kristyalibihi Sevyamano Smarami Srimad Rasarasarambi Pamsi Patat Tatastitaha Karsan Venu Swanir Gopi Gominat Shriye Sunaha Abda Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shamanu Sute Devi Namami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Tamal Krishna Goswami Niti Namine Esha Pushpanjali Esha Pushpanjali Esha Pushpanjali Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Tamal Krishna Goswami Niti Namine Esha Pushpanjali Esha Pushpanjali Esha Pushpanjali Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Tamal Krishna Goswami Niti Namine Esha Pushpanjali Esha Pushpanjali Esha Pushpanjali Please pay obeisances Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Astottara Sata His Divine Grace Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Srila Gurudev Ki Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Astottara Sata Divine Grace, Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Srila Gurudev ki Jayo Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivradagacharya Stokara Satas. Divine Grace, Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Srila Gurudev ki Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Tirobhava Mahautsava ki Itai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga.
श्री श्रीमद इस दीवान मेरे अपने कमाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज गुरुदेव की तेरा कमाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज तिरुभव महामहोत्सव की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस ब्रह्मचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद देशी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से हो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की ब्रजमुनि वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की मायापुर द्वीप धाम की गंगा मैया की यमुना मात की श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की श्याम वेद भक्त बिंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवताम की श्री श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री श्री निताय चैतन्य चंद्र की श्री श्री निताय गौरा चंद्र की श्री श्री गिरिराज गोवर्धन की श्री श्री राधा गिरधारी जी की श्री राधा नीला माधव की गौर प्रेमानंदे all glories to Goswami devotee. Hare Krishna. All glories to Goswami devotee. Hare Krishna. All glories to Goswami devotee. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga.